Well, good evening and welcome back to the Brothers-in-law. On this channel, we discuss police involved incidents that occurred around the country and we give our analysis on the actions of those police officers to see if what they're doing is what a reasonable officer would do. We also take a look at the actions of the citizens to see if they have followed our acronym of CALM, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Would their situation have turned out differently? Look, we all know that you may agree to disagree with us, but that's fine. We had no problem with that. But it's our hope by the end of the video that you get somewhat of a better understanding of how these incidents unfold. And so if you're new to our channel, my name again is Corey, and I'm a former Virginia State police officer of 7 years, and I'm also a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer of 21 years. And my co-host, I should say, Mr. Michael Bradley. Welcome, sir.
Good to be back. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm Mike Bradley. I'm the co-host of the show. Retired police officer of 26 years in Northern California. Also a 6-year Army veteran. We got a good one lined up for you today. Good one to talk about and see what your thoughts are on it. And hopefully give you some insight as to what you're seeing on the screen. What's going on?
Hey, not much, man. And, like always, before we jump into this, again, if this is your first time checking us out, please go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It is Thursday night. Thursday night football is on, so we know some of you are preparing to watch that game. I don't know why, but hey, that's your team. That's your team. Some of y'all just getting in from work and finishing up dinner, so we got some time for everybody to jump on and check out tonight's show. Now, tonight's show is entitled "From Drunk to Dangerous: Man Caught with a Gun During Arrest." Again, this goes back to us always saying, there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop. No matter if it's a DUI. DUIs can always be somewhat of a surprise traffic stop. You never know what type of drunk you're going to get, and with that type of drunk, you don't know what that drunk is going to have on their person. And so we're going to look at this video tonight, and we're going to talk about a couple things that I got out of this that I kind of want to put some emphasis on tonight. And one of them is you'll hear the young man saying in the video, I know my rights. I don't have to get out the vehicle. We're going to discuss that. Do you have the right to get out of the vehicle? Do you know what that case law is that says you do have to get out that video? If you know what it is, please go ahead and drop that down in the comments down below. And let's have that discussion. But before we get into it, please head on over to the merch shop at brothers-in-law.mysprayshop.com and get yourself a nice little Brothers-in-Law t-shirt, podcast t-shirt to help support the channel and get the message out of staying calm when interacting with police. And CALM stands for comply, answer questions,
listen, move on.
All right, so please head on over there. I think I got some discounts over there too. I set up for the holidays, so cool. Get your Christmas shopping done and get your loved one a t-shirt and help support the channel. All right, Mike, take it away, my brother.
All right, this happened March, as you see on the screen, March 4th of last year, and it was a traffic stop, regular traffic stop, and we're gonna play it from start to finish and show you what takes place in chronological order. And let's get into it.
David Frank 95506. David Frank 95506. It's Black Lincoln. Looks like one. Well, nice. Black Lincoln. Is it take off? Does that take off? All right. You walk up. I stand. I'll set the guard. This takes off. His foot's on the brake. rolling one up, man? That side? Oh, sorry. Why didn't you? There, go ahead, hop on, man. Why didn't you stop right away? What? Because you didn't stop right away. I did. I turned the corner and then stopped. All right, step on the car. No. Okay, if you don't step on the car, you place on the arrest for obstructing. You understand that? What, obstructing for what? Yes. So step on the car. I'm going to place you in arrest for obstructing. Pennsylvania versus Williams. The United States Supreme Court has the right to get you out of car traffic stop. You didn't stop right away. You're getting a lawful order. If you don't, if you're not get out of the car right now, you're placed on arrest for obstructing. My hands are right here. Okay. Well, I'm trying to understand how will I be on the arrest for obstructing. You don't get out of the car. Why? You need to get out. Give me a lawful order. Well, why? I got out of the car, or I will take you out of the car. Okay. If you're not get out right now, you can place arrest for obstructing. What do you want to do? Look, officer. I have not done nothing. I have to eat my Slim Jim. Step out of the car or you're under arrest. I need one last step on the car, you're under arrest. What the f*** is you're under arrest or something? You know what the f***? Get out of the car, you're under arrest. For real? Get out of the car, you're under arrest. What are you reaching? What are you reaching for? I am reaching for nothing. Officer, damn. What the? Get out of the car right now. No, I am not instructing. Get out of the car right now. For real. Out of the car right now. Get out of the car right now. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Damn, can I come? I'm coming. Get out. I'm coming. Can I come? Get out of the car. You pulling me out. Can I come? For real, officer. You pulling me out. Get out of the car. Damn, what the No, I'm not. I'm eating my Get out of the car right now. For real, officer. Yeah, you can reach all you want. Oh, what the Oh. What the fuck? No, I promise you I'm not doing nothing. Get out of the car. I promise you I'm not doing shit. What the fuck?
Of course you're not. You ain't getting out the car.
No, I promise I'm not doing shit, officer.
Yeah, at this point, Corey, what's your thoughts on this right here at this point? I know it happened. They went to get out of the car kind of fast, but rightfully so. They wanted him to get out of the car, and they probably could tell that there was some alcohol going on at some point or something going on in there, that it was clear to them initially anyway that he was probably DUI. So what's your thought on that, Corey?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first when I first saw the video. Okay, their quick reactions because of this being a DUI. And so in DUI, a lot of times, you want to get that person out of the vehicle as quickly as you can to start your observation. But sometimes, not always. Like I say, each DUI is a little bit different. Sometimes you're getting them out right away. Sometimes you just letting them sit there for a minute and starting your interview process with them and trying to figure out, paying attention to their speech and their eye contact, looking at their eyes and developing your PC, if you will, whether or not you got enough to proceed on to do the field sobriety test, and then getting them out the vehicle. So and then him acting the way he was and then being so defensive could have been another reason why. Then he's trying to cover the smell up by eating a Slim Jim. That's not going to cover up the smell of alcohol. And like I said, we said, and I think one of our other videos might, a lot of times, okay, if you're not drinking, we smell the alcohol. Maybe it might be because you had other people in the car with you that you dropped off and they might have been drinking, and that alcohol odor is still lingering in the vehicle. It's the opportunity for one way for the officer to eliminate that aspect of it, that you having alcohol is getting you out and separating you in the smell. So if I get you out of car and you no longer reek of alcohol, then I know the scent is in the car and it's not on you. But if you're outside of the vehicle and I still smell it coming from your person, then that's gonna raise some red flags to me that, hey, this guy is intoxicated. Now I need to be in the DUI mode and start the process for to conduct the field sobriety test.
Yeah, I agree. And for folks, a lot of people don't realize, as an officer, when I stopped people when I was investigating for DUI, there are some red flags that I'm going to notice immediately as soon as I walk up to your car. Okay. The first thing I'm going to notice is the smell, right? Like you said, Corey, the smell of alcohol is definitely going to raise my red flag, raise my antenna that I'm going to start looking for. Is this a DUI? In this case, you got you probably had the smell of marijuana. You had the you notice he was like had really glossy eyes. You notice that his speech was kind of sluggish. He wasn't slurred, but he was kind of sluggish. You know what I'm saying? That's an indication that you might have something else going on board. These are things that I'm looking for. These are not what's the word I'm looking for? These are not confirmed red flags. These are not confirmed things that say for sure you're DUI, but it's definitely enough for me to start investigating and going that direction. You know what I'm saying? So you got the glossy eyes, you got the smell of alcoholic beverage, you got the sluggish speech, okay? And you notice also when he's looking at the officer, he's kind of looking into dead space. It looks like he's probably looking at the officer's belt or looking at the officer's shirt or something. You notice he doesn't seem to be looking at the officer directly in the eye. That could be an indication that you can't track what you're looking at because you're too intoxicated at that time.
Right. And we also got to look at too, all right, that aspect of it as well. And then you got to start thinking about, all right, think about what you're as a parent and you're going to ask your kid, hey, let me see where that's candy bar is that you took off the countertop. And they put it in the book bag, but they're not going to tell you put it in the book bag. They don't want you to look in the book bag. So they already know something is wrong, that you're withholding something from it. And almost like that here is like they know something's in it because you're being so defensive right now as to why you can't get out that vehicle. I'm asking you, hey, probably for a reason to get out. If I asked you 3 or 4 times, now I'm starting to guess now, why are you not getting out of the vehicle? And then you're automatically you're going to say, you probably didn't hear him say, I have my rights. I don't have to get out the car. Wrong answer. If I'm ordering you out of the vehicle, if I'm asking you, sir or ma'am, step out of the vehicle now, that is a direct order for you to get out of the vehicle. All right. And what is it? Pennsylvania versus Mims allows us to be able to do that to get you out. And the other case law that goes along with that is maybe one, and they get you out and they start to pat you down. It's different from pat down, which is Terry versus Ohio case law. Pat down, meaning they can just pat you down on the outside of your clothes. They're not allowed to go inside your pockets. All right. They have those two case laws right there give the officers that ability to do that with reason or go ahead, Mike.
I'm glad you brought that up, Corey. I'm gonna flip it on the viewers a little bit here. Do you think? Yeah, we know it's legal to pat search someone on the outside of their clothes, but for our viewers, do you think that's reasonable? Why do you think there is case law that allows an officer to pat search someone under, circumstances? Why do you think that's important? It's common sense to Corey and I, but you'd be surprised how many viewers who are not have no knowledge of police tactics and practices that they don't understand why that would be important. Well, obviously it's important because we want to make sure you don't have any guns on you. We know we're not trying to violate your rights, but at the same time, I need to know if you have something that could hurt me
in the performance of your duties.
Right. And we see this far too often, Corey, on people getting out of the car on a traffic stop. Like you said, you gave them the case law that makes it legal for an officer to order you out of the car. That's not I only am going to get out of the car if you can explain to me why. That's not what that is. That's if you're ordered to exit the vehicle, you must exit the vehicle. We don't owe you an explanation for why we're telling you to exit the vehicle. Because most of the time when I give you an explanation, you're not going to agree with it anyway.
Right.
Okay? And you're not going to see it that way anyway.
Right.
I want you out of the car because I want to see what your demeanor is like. I want to see if this DUI is something that I need to be concerned about. Like you said earlier, Corey, I need to see if that smell of alcoholic beverage is on your person or what's it in the car. You know, I need to see how you're standing, what your posture is like, how you're speaking to me outside the car, how you're looking at me, how you're talking to me. You know, all those things is what I have to investigate to see if you might be DUI.
Right. And I think we can probably put that one to bed. Just,
Okay.
And I mean, as far as, you know, hey, listen, now you're hearing it from two former police officers. Go consult with your attorney, and they're gonna tell you the same thing. You know, with as long as it's within reason. You know, you can't just go and stop somebody and say, hey, you two come here, and you have no reason really to do that unless you're out looking for somebody who's matching a certain description.
Yeah, right.
That's different.
That's different.
Right? Or another example of the case law for Terry versus Ohio, I believe that stemmed from a police officer noticed a guy outside of a case in a store, and the officer believed that was, you know, he was acting suspicious. The store was just closing or something like that, and the officer confronts him and searches him and kind of found out he had burglary tools on him, which consists of a crowbar, hammer, screwdrivers, anything that you can use to break into a place of business can be considered burglary tools. And so Supreme Court ruled on that he didn't violate the officers or the citizens' Fourth Amendment rights of illegal search and seizure because he had reasonable suspicion that his activity was abnormal for that time of night and encasing the joint 3, 4, or 5 times or however many times it was before he actually went and made the contact. So that's reason behind that. Then you get into the Pennsylvania versus Mims of asking you to step out of the vehicle, and the police officer knows a bulge in the guy's waistband and searched him and found that bulge was actually a gun. So the Supreme Court ruled on that, saying, hey, it's not a violation of constitutional rights for them to ask you to step out of the vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so you have to get out of the vehicle, folks.
You got to get out of the vehicle. Bottom line.
Get out of the vehicle. Yeah.
There's no debating of it.
That's not pending, and that's not pending an explanation from the officer. Okay. I mean, you got to look at it that way. If I tell you to get out of the vehicle as an officer, you have to get out of the vehicle. You can't just say, I'm not getting out of the vehicle. No. Right. In this case, this guy was clearly not getting out of the vehicle. They were trying to pull him out of the vehicle. He was resisting and not trying to get out of the vehicle. Okay. Saying, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing. Well, you are doing something because you're not getting out of the vehicle. Okay. So you have to get out of the vehicle. Let's keep it rolling.
Yep.
I did not tell you, first of all, I got license insurance. I did not tell you to come in my car. Houses. You refuse to make any phone calls and houses, I'm not doing nothing. I'm complying with y'all.
You're not complying because you're not getting out of the car.
No, I'm not. I ain't reached for shit, nigga. I reached for my fucking registration and my fucking what's called and my license. Houses. I reached for my registration and my license. I am not reaching for shit. Get out of the car. I am a black man. Hold out of the car.
Real quick, Corey, what they see that swinging, I think that's the officer's radio microphone that was attached to his body. It must have came loose from his uniform, and now it's swinging in the camera view. So just so folks know that.
I ain't reached for my wallet. I promise you I'm forgetting my wallet. Look, I'm gonna give you my wallet, dude. Go to the passenger side. Hey, push him out. Push him out. I'm forgetting my wallet. God damn. What the fuck? Get out of the fucking car. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? consistent. What the fuck I do? Stop resisting. I got the cuffs right here, so here. No, he's not cuffed. Not cuffed yet. Number 1, concealing 214. Stop. I got one hand. That's my foot. There's a magazine. Magazine right there, dude. I got his other hand. He's reaching for a gun. Pretty sure. There's a magazine right by your leg, so. I can't get his hand there. You got a gun on you, man? I'm rolling over and hang on, everybody. The gun's on the good. Well, we got 30 on every set for it. Where's it? Here, let's see. He's in the car. Bring this thing up. Just like this, right? Ow! Alright, I'm off my car. Stand up straight. Oh. Look, I'm standing straight. God damn. I'm in sandals, dude. What the fuck y'all think? Shut up. You get a wallet or no? Yeah, you get I got it in my hand. Alright, let me double out these cuffs before you put them in. You got your cuff keys. Mine are in the car. Here. Everything go with it.
I think I might have missed it.
You resisted, you tried to reach for a fucking gun. So yeah, shut the fuck up and get in the car.
Let me see if you saw it, Corey. When I watched this video earlier, I thought I saw them pull an actual magazine out of his pocket from a pistol. Did you see that, or did I miss that?
I didn't even catch that. I thought they actually got the gun out of the car, but one of them said he got it out of his waistband, but I didn't see that.
Yeah, he had a magazine, what folks might know as a clip. We don't call it that. It's actually called a magazine. But he had that on his person. It was somewhere around his pants. They pulled it out when I saw this earlier. But let me rewind a little bit and see if we can find it. It was right there at the moment, at the beginning, when they were searching his waistband. When they stand him up.
Oh, that's okay.
No.
Right.
Stand up straight. Oh. Look, I'm standing straight. God damn.
Man.
I'm in sandals, dude. What the fuck y'all think? Shut up. You get a wallet or no? Yeah, I got it in my hand. Alright, let me double out these cuffs before you put them in.
I couldn't see.
Yeah, I know they talked about it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Then they partially frisked him or checked him, pat him down when he was on the ground before they got him up.
Maybe. Let's rewind that, folks, and let me see if it shows that a little bit clearer.
I'm resisting. What the fuck I do? Stop resisting. I got the cuffs right here, so here. No, he's not cuffed. Not cuffed yet. Number 1, concealing 214. Stop. I got one hand. That's my foot. There's a magazine. Magazine right there, dude.
He says that magazine right there, where they must have found it when he was on the ground.
Yeah, it must have fell off him then.
All right.
Yeah.
This is for a gun. I'm pretty sure. The magazine right by your leg, so.
Right by his leg.
Can't get a scene in there. You got a gun on you, man?
That's what clued them in that there was, in fact, a gun.
So it was a good reason to ask him to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because he had that gun. You know, that's goes back to the whole let me see your hands.
Yeah.
Keep your hands where we can see them. And when
Right.
you make that small, slight little gesture like he did in the beginning when he's sitting there with his hands up, and then he takes that right hand and pushes it down on the side there. Well, what you think the officer going to think? He's
Right.
lucky, and I agree with Goat. He's very lucky that he didn't get shot, because if you just think of it, they got the wrong officer, Mike.
Yeah, you're right.
They got trigger happy JoJo.
Yeah.
That has no business being in law enforcement, and he goes and pulls that gun out and just shoots him right there. Now, he might have been able to talk to articulate that, because there was a weapon in the vehicle. He did reach down for it, but these guys acted, you know, I think in a good way to get him out of the vehicle. Went hands on first versus, you know, pulling out their service weapon.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They went hands on. They were right there in his face already.
Right.
Before he could try to grab anything,
Right.
they wanted to grab and get physical control of him to stop him from grabbing a gun or grabbing anything that could hurt them. So I don't see anything unreasonable that these officers did up to this point.
No, nothing unreasonable. Now on the citizens' part, he was all out there in left center field, and it doesn't help that he's intoxicated on top
Right.
of having a weapon.
Right.
So he's not in his right frame of mind anyway. And you got that weapon there, and then he's, you know, not wanting to comply, right?
Yeah.
The first part of the acronym, comply with the officers. Okay, you didn't do anything wrong. Okay, let me just do my part. Okay, you told me to get out of the car. Now I'm gonna get out of the car. I'm gonna listen to what you say, and answer any questions you may have once you I get out of the vehicle. And then, you know, you'll have your time to ask the officer any question you want to ask them. But first and foremost, when they ask you to step out of the vehicle, get out. There's no room for debate. We gave you the case law earlier. You just have to do it. And
Right.
if they're wrong for any reason or other, you go get your Benjamin Crumps,
Right.
because they'll be happy to take your case. All right, if there's anything there.
Yeah.
All right, but in the meantime, to protect yourself so that you don't get hurt in this matter, then just comply. Get out of the vehicle. Guys who do wrong or have something to hide are going to be this gentleman right here. They're going to be the ones to not get out of the vehicle.
Yeah, my guess is he didn't want to get out of the vehicle because he didn't want them to find a gun or something. That gun that was in there. So, you know, you never know. But there was some reason why he was putting up such a fight to not get out of that vehicle. So let's keep
yeah, and it was like when they were trying to get him out, he wasn't even putting forward the effort to get. He was really just made himself like, you know, dead weight, like, you know, just trying to hold on himself into the seat there, so they couldn't get him out the car. And then you're gonna sit there and try to say, I am getting out. He pulling me out. Oh, he ain't pulling you. He's not making any progress trying to get you out of that vehicle. So I don't know if he was holding on to something or what he was doing, but he was fighting real hard trying to not to get out of that vehicle. And even though he was not throwing any punches, Mike, he still is resisting.
Yeah. If I got to pull you out of the vehicle or attempt to pull you out of the vehicle, that means you ain't voluntarily getting out of the vehicle, right? That's what that means. So you're not complying, you know?
Now, do you think they would have been wrong if they'd have tased him?
No. Well, let me backtrack on that. That depends on what their department policy is as far as tasing them. So some departments may look at that as a reason to tase someone that you're okay to do that. Some departments might require some different, more explicit circumstances to do that. So I don't know what their department policy is, but some departments will say, yeah, if you're not complying to where you're resisting and physically resisting like that, it might be cause to use the taser.
Then I see now we didn't use tasers, so I probably would have OC sprayed them if the situation was right for that, and to get him out the vehicle. Or if I was by myself, definitely OC spray me and get him out the vehicle. If I had a shift partner that was able to come assist me, then we would probably went hands on.
Yeah,
just like these officers did. I think about stops like this with my one shift partner. You had 2 times. He asked you twice. He never asked you more than that. And that after that second time, you still talking. He just snatches you up. I mean, I never forget he snatched somebody up through the window. I said, man, he tried to tell you, Troop, he can't do that. He tried to tell you to get out that vehicle. You will not come out that vehicle. I said, so you let the officer no choice. I said, you call whoever you want to voice your concerns, but this one is going to stand. You're not going to beat this one. Because there's case law to support that. And it was a DUI, and he was convicted of, and there you are. So don't do that. Just get out of the vehicle. I mean, if you're wrong, then it is what it is. Go to jail.
You have to get out. Get out. Let's keep it rolling.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm out of my car. Stand up straight. Oh, look, I'm standing on straight. God damn. I'm in sandals, dude. What the fuck y'all think? Shut up. You get a wallet or no? Yeah, you get a question. I got it in my hand. All right, let me double wipe these cuffs before you put them in. You get your cookies. Here. Everything on it. Get the Western now. That's 738. Shut the fuck up. Robert. What do y'all? Oh, you resisted? You tried to reach for a fucking gun. So yeah, shut the fuck up and get the car. Look at me. I'm going in. You'll be getting shot, man. I won't pull my gun out because you fucking reached. Please don't kill me because I reached for something that y'all you think I had. That shit was. Oh, you mean the fucking gun? So, you want to get out? We placed someone arrested for you on the car. He's going to get out of the car. And then we grabbed him. He reached under the seat. So at that point, we just grabbed both his arms and trying to reach something on his right side. Yeah. And we just basically at that point, me and him couldn't get on the car because he was pulling so hard. So we just waited. And then when Cable got there, we got him around. And house keys. So I'll take his house keys and then his phone. You got it. Yeah, his phone. You got the magazine? I got the magazine. I got the check real good. No, right side too. Yeah, like under this, like by the seat right there. I worked on them pretty good. Tell her everything down again with her. That shit wasn't mine, bro. I don't know what y'all talking about. So what y'all doing in my car? For what? So for who? Said AUW. Aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. You're probably gonna get numerous charges. Say you gonna get what? Numerous charges. Say, hold it. Aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. Damn, who used the weapon?
Okay. Yeah, so of course the gun wasn't mine. That's what he said, wasn't mine. Well, beg to differ. So it's, of
Well,
course, he was reaching
what you reaching for?
right. The thing is, you know what's scary as an officer? If you were reaching for that gun, what would you have done had you got that gun? You would have shot me, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I have to assume as an officer for my safety. Is that's why I'm going to handle you the way I'm handling you, because you would have shot me. You know what I'm saying? I might not have gone home that night because I didn't address you or didn't grab you when I grabbed you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, his demeanor was telling on you know, he was going to do something stupid. Like if you're reaching for it, that's telling me you want to use it.
Yeah,
you're not giving it to me just to say,
right.
"Oh, here it is," and you made no mention of the weapon. At that, you just go reaching for the gun. And so, you know, and that's something too, you know, a lot of times when you get stopped, and if you have a weapon on you, it's still, don't make any type of movement towards that weapon. Leave your hands visible so the officer can see them and say, "Hey, officer, I do have a weapon in the car. It's in my glove compartment, or it's on my person, or it's in my center console, or whatever it is." You just leave your hands where it is. Tell the officer where the weapon is, and 9 times 10 they'll say, "Okay, you know, do you have a concealed carry permit or whatever?" Here in Virginia, we are open carry, so as long as the weapon is visible, you're fine. But typically, if it's locked away in the glove compartment, whatever, I may or may not even ask you if you have a concealed carry permit. And 9 times 10, like, if you're open and honest with me, then I know you're probably one of those type of citizens that has that concealed carry. And 9 times 10, they all had their concealed carry, right? It's the criminals that are not going to disclose that information to you.
Yeah.
And so, you know, now I don't know if this guy was a convicted felon and shouldn't have been in possession of a firearm. We don't know any of that, but the fact of the matter is that weapon was in reach. He was reaching for the weapon, and he is very lucky he didn't get shot and killed, or this would have been plastered all over social media. White police officer kills an unarmed black man, and then leave out the fact that they found the weapon in the car until a month later after everything's already been destroyed. So you see how these incidents play out, and why officers may react the way that they do. Like, I don't want you to get that weapon first and have to jump on me and shoot me. That's not how this is going to work. I'm going to get you before you can get me. Right. Because I want to go home too, just as much as you probably don't want to go to jail. Well, dumbass, if you know you ain't supposed to be in possession of a firearm, don't be with a firearm.
For the citizens watching that, understand that he was in possession of a firearm. Those officers were acting accordingly because they don't want to get shot. Okay, they had to take control of that person very fast. Okay, and swiftly, and is with the necessary force that it took to do so. And as you can see, because he was resisting, yeah, that was the right force to use to get him out of that vehicle, get him cuffed, and get that scene safe.
Yeah, made the scene safe, and thank God he didn't, you know, get into a crash and hurt or kill somebody, or get into a heated argument with somebody, and him being drunk, and instead of hitting the person he's arguing with, he hits an innocent bystander because he can't see straight because he's drunk. Right. So, you know, they saved people's lives by, getting him off the road that night. So it again, like we've said before in other videos, you know, arrests aren't pretty. They're not, you know, Hollywood arrests where everything is by the book. Arrests are ugly. This was
if I got to use force on you, it's gonna be ugly. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be like the TV where before you know it, you just handcuffed and ain't nothing. You know, you didn't see what happened. No, No, it ain't gonna be pretty when I gotta use force on you. If I gotta
Right.
put my hands on you, it
Yeah.
ain't gonna be like ballerina style. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There's no pretty please, step out of the vehicle. Hey, Jesus
No.
love you. Welcome, GOAT. And welcome Nicole over on on Facebook. Welcome. It's not Hollywood. It doesn't work that way. And there may be some people, Mike, that say, oh, well, the officer shouldn't be, talking to this individual like that. Listen, I don't really care about language. If you have sensitive ears and whatever, then plug your ears up. But when you're in a situation like that and you're fighting somebody and then you end up finding a weapon on them, yeah, you're gonna be a little pissy, and you're gonna use some pretty colorful words to try to get to that individual's that subject's level of thinking. And so if that's all he understands is those 4-letter colorful words, then that's what I'm saying to him. But he's gonna get my message that I'm pissed off and he's a dumb SOB for doing what he did, and he could have got killed, right? He could have got killed and not only destroy his family, the citizens' family, but destroy the lives of the officer's family now. Because now they're going to be drugged in and out of court. All because he just didn't want to get out the car because he had a gun that I bet you he probably wasn't supposed to have, Mike.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
So it's just one of those things, man. This is why we do these videos to stress to our fellow citizens, hey, listen, just comply, man. And
get out of the car. If you stop by law enforcement, get out of the car if they tell you to get out of the car. Ain't no why. There's no, can you explain to me why? There's no, I'm not going to get out of the car until you give me an explanation. No, it doesn't work like that. It just says get out of the car and you need to get out of the car. So
yeah, you just get out. Some people just get all, let the emotions get in the way.
Yeah.
And thinking that, oh my God, if the police tell me to get out of the car, then I might get killed. I might get beat up. Oh, you racist, you're gonna do that. Now just get out the car. Just get out the car. Don't let somebody else's experience become your reality. Don't do it, because every cop is not the same. Just like every doctor is not the same, right? Because Dr. Johnny B down the street amputates the wrong leg doesn't mean all the other surgeons are bad and going to amputate the wrong legs as well. It doesn't work like that, man. I mean, you just comply, answer questions, listen, and guess what? You get to move on, and that's the objective. Now he got to move on, even though he threw the other letters to the acronym out the window. He still got to move on. But the bottom line, it should never got to that point.
And especially for those citizens who feel like if I get out of the car, something's going to happen to me. Well, if you don't get out of the car, something's going to happen to you for sure. Okay, that's how you need to look at that. I mean, if you want an officer to have to go hands on with you, then if don't comply, that's the quickest way that you're going to get into some mess if you don't comply. Okay. That car is not going to protect you. That officer is not going to say, get out of the car, and then you refuse. And he's not going to turn around and say, oh, well, that's all right. Don't worry about it. You can just stay on there. No, because there's a reason why I'm telling you to get out of the car. And if you don't get out of the car, I'm going to have to force you out of the car. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we don't want to do.
Yeah, the goal is not to get to that point. I mean, nobody wants to, go hands on. Again, you had those asshole police officers out there that want to go hands on and do something stupid, but they'll typically won't last long on the force. And so you just do what you're supposed to do. You follow the acronym of CALM, comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. And it's gonna go well for you. Yeah. Right? Because this is what, if you did this for me. If you follow that acronym CALM for me, 9 times 10, yeah, you might still get the ticket, but there have been times that I've been, feeling good, just like, man, they were real cool, man. They didn't give me no problem. Hey, slow down. See you next time. Or you know what? Go ahead and call somebody to come get you. They can come get you before I finish this here ticket. Uh, Go ahead, but you ain't driving no more tonight, right?
Yeah.
It just goes a long way if you just are calm, following the acronym CALM. It just goes so much better during the traffic stop. When you get to being combative like this guy here, and just being a butthole, then it makes for a bad traffic stop, and it usually doesn't end well, does it, Mike?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So just follow the law, folks, and just comply. That's
Yeah,
the biggest message here.
yeah.
Don't think you don't have to get out of the car when you get stopped by the police if they order you to get out of the car. So keep that in mind.
And I challenge you all too to look up Pennsylvania versus Mims and Terry versus Ohio, and read those case laws and send them out to your friends and family. Send it out, because a lot of people don't understand that. They think because they're just hearing other people's stories, and they're hearing what they're hearing off of social media. Oh, they don't have the right to tell you to get out the car. Yes, they do have the right to tell you to get out of the vehicle. When they tell you to get out of the vehicle, you must get out of the vehicle. So don't listen to all these people out here. Look the laws up yourself. You can go right online and look them up, and so that and help educate. Oh, my camera. Help educate your loved ones that, hey, man, when the police officer tell you to get out of the car, you have to do it. There's no argument with it. Don't make the situation worse than what it already is. And you get the lead. Nothing will happen. Now you can't make everything 100 proof, but 99.9% of the time you're going to be fine during that traffic stop. What say you? Might give you the final words, my brother.
I think we beat that horse. We beat
Yeah,
that horse up.
But we have to because
we do because you
mean,
see it over and over again. People not getting out of the car. They think that they have a right to stay in the car because they're afraid of what's going to happen if they get out of the car. Well, that might be true. You might be afraid of what's going to happen if you get out of the car, but you should be more afraid of what's going to happen if you don't get out of the car. Because then you're going to have to you're escalating the situation into something that doesn't have to be. Now, this message is for those people who want to follow the law. Okay, we know that if you a criminal and ain't up to no good, you don't care about that. You're gonna stay in that car. You're gonna fight and you're gonna resist because that's what criminals do. Okay, we know that they're not going to get that message. Okay, but this is for the goats and the Jesus loves you and those individuals who want to follow the law as best they can and want to know what to do if they are interacting with police. And that's how you handle that. Okay, get out of the car and do what you're supposed to do. That's it.
Yep, that's it. So again, we want to thank everybody for checking us out this evening. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Yeah, this was definitely a short one tonight. Everybody won't want to watch the game, but you can always check the reruns though, and help us get those numbers. That we're up at 269 subscribers. Please help us get to 300 before the end of the year. So share this out. And if you want to be a part of one of our lives, email us over at the Brothas-in-law 21@gmail.com, and we'll get you on live, and you can share your thoughts on experience that you might have had with law enforcement that was good or bad, and break a video down with us as well, and give your points of view, what you think happened during that stop or whatever. So let us know what you want to do. We'd love to have you on. So again, thank you all for watching. And don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us. and we will be back next week at 8:10. And y'all have a blessed weekend. Stay safe. Mike.
I see. Thanks for joining us, Goat. I see you on here. Jesus loves you. I see you on here. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same sandbox. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And love you.